Hey YouTubers, as you can see, Bohemian Grove time, July of 2011. Yes, the kickoff date was July 15th of 2011 on a Friday, and you had the cremation of Care go on. So I thought, well, I wanted to call into a radio station, a local radio station, a conservative radio station. And I called actually on a Saturday. It was, I believe, July 16th, and I called into this gentleman's show, Jim Franklin Live, bringing you the right side of the left coast. And so I called into this guy's show because he's a conservative, right? He should know something about Bohemian Grove. So I called in to let this gentleman know this guy is actually a minister of a church. And so I wanted to talk to him about Bohemian Grove and see what he knew about it. So I will play the actual recording, and you can hear what I told him. And I would encourage you to do the same. Call into your conservative radio stations and tell them, why aren't you talking about Bohemian Grove and homosexuality that's going on there? Because this was the topic of his radio show broadcast. Just because our governor signed into law teaching gay history in our schools, so they were talking about homosexuality the whole day practically on Saturday. So I called in, and as you can see, you'll hear what I had to say.
Classify themselves that way to show the confusion of it, and so now we want to teach that and to somehow glorify that among our children. No, that's not what we want. If it's not, all it's going to bring about is indoctrination. Dan, appreciate the call. Let's go to Steve in Kingsburg. Steve, and our telephone number is 1-877-453-5548. That's 1-877-453-5548. Steve?
Hey, how's it going, Jim?
Good.
Good. I was just calling to talk about homosexuality a little bit. Just on Friday, the Bohemian Grove Summit up in Monterey, California was meeting. It is meeting, and there's a lot of conservative politicians. The Bushes have gone, Ronald Reagan, Nixon. They've all attended this Bohemian Grove Summit, and there's a lot of homosexual activity going on that actually broke into the news and was reported on. Homosexual porn stars going there, and there's a lot of things that get done up in Bohemian Grove, and it's very sad to see that these are all mostly conservative people, politicians meeting up at this Bohemian Grove, and they also actually do what's called the cremation of care ceremony, where they do a mock human sacrifice. And this can be seen on the film Secrets Inside Bohemian Grove. And I'm a Christian, and this really disturbed me.
Well, I'm not familiar. I've heard of that, not by name, but again, I'm not familiar with it, so I really can't comment on it. Steve, I think there is a concern, though, that we are seeing, even among conservative groups, that this again is being purported as a human rights, and nobody wants to be discriminated against. I don't want people to be discriminated against. There are actions, behaviors that I do want discriminated against because I see them as unhealthy. And that's what science bears out. So I think there's where the difference is, and I think that as conservatives, we've got to wake up and not fall for the smoke screen of, well, why can't we all just get along and live and let live, and if that's what somebody wants to do, let them do what they want to. Who am I to tell them? Well, individuals can make choices, but when those individuals begin to make choices for society that is detrimental to society, then yeah, I'm not going to keep quiet. I'm going to stand up. You know why? Because I live in this society, and my kids live in this society. More Jim Franklin Live.
So, as you heard, Jim Franklin kind of gave you that was a weird response. I'm glad he didn't laugh at me, but he kind of said, well, people say it's a human rights issue to be homosexual, and he really totally averted what I had to say about the subject, and he didn't have anything to say about the human mock sacrifice. So he's in the dark. But even his response, he said basically, I'm not familiar with that. I have heard of that, but I'm not familiar with. So he's heard of it, but he's not familiar with it. Yeah, you just don't want to expose the conservatives, because again, you're bringing the right side of the left coast. So another example that we need to stop playing party politics and expose evil wherever it's at. So I encourage everyone to go ahead and call into your radio shows and call into your local conservative or liberal radio shows and talk about these real issues. It's quite easy, and you don't have to lie or anything. You just kind of have to be smooth with it. And I called in and just said, hey, I want to talk about this meeting that's going on up in Monterey, California. Conservatives meeting up there. So I got on pretty easily. So everyone, let's barrage the mainstream media with the real facts. Alright, everybody, keep on fighting the info war.